Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Yeah, we got a pretty good balance, Chris. I think we got about 6 mics on right now. Yeah. And no ring.
Discreet.
Exactly. So I put it there, but do you
So let's start working. I know we're a little early, but that's okay. So
No, this is good.
Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay, here I am. Here I am in the booth. And I see you moving around as I'm doing the English. Did you know that Nancy Shepherd is retiring? And there's a whole bunch of presentations. I didn't notice them on the thing on the hard copy that I've got there. Anyways, this is English, okay? I'm going to French. And I'm back to English on the next console, and I'm
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If I could ask members of council to take their seat, we'll start the meeting in 1 minute. On va commencer la réunion dans une minute. And members of the public, if they could also take a seat. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ottawa City Council meeting of the 25th of November. Bienvenue à la Conseil municipal.
Welcome to the City Council meeting of November 25th.
Rise for a moment of reflection and remain standing.
Starting this morning on a sad note, because last week our friend Linda Smith passed
away. Linda was somebody known to all of us on council and many more people throughout our city. She volunteered in our offices and those of the councils which came before us. Elle a été bénévole dans nos bureaux.
She was a volunteer in our offices and the previous council members.
As MPP John Fraser said in his lovely tribute to her at Queen's Park, Linda had a, quote, developmental exceptionality. But as I saw firsthand, that exceptionality did not stop her from being an incredibly driven and caring person. Among the many projects she liked being a part of in my office and your offices as well, I think Christmas cards were her favorite. Linda's calls asking when we would start working on Christmas cards usually started in July, and they kept coming every week until the last of the envelopes were sealed. Linda truly loved Ottawa. Linda aimait profondément.
She truly loved Ottawa.
Emotion and stories that we have seen since her passing says any one thing is that Ottawa loved her too. My thanks to Matthew Pearson and Sue Sharing for their very kind stories about Linda in recent days. And please join me now in a moment of silence as we remember our late friend, Linda Smith. Thank you. If you could remain standing, I'd ask Councillor Fleury to introduce our special guest. Maintenant, c'est l'occasion pour le Conseil Fleury d'introduire nos invités spéciaux.
Councillor Fleury will introduce our special guests. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You said it. We have some very special guests this morning, the choir of the Pauline Charon Center, located in Vanier. It is a very active senior center. They have a whole slew of activities, including the choir. They have the choir there and throughout senior centers in the city to keep everybody active. Amongst some special events in December, we have the Snowflake Breakfast. That has to do with the Food Bank of Ottawa, and that's on December 4th. And then they have the Christmas concert on Sunday, December 13 at 1 o'clock at the Pauline Charon Center. So without any further ado, thank you for being here. Let's listen to the choir.
Merci beaucoup à tous les membres.
Thank you, all members. Thank you to all members of the Center in Vanier for this rendering of our national anthem. It was a pleasure seeing you.
Podium for this meeting's City Builder Award presentation, and his City Councillor Scott Moffat to join us. Mr. Ryan, if you would join us here, please, and welcome to City Hall. Councillor Moffat. Right over here. Welcome. Mr. Ryan served proudly with the fire department of the old city of Ottawa for almost 40 years. He retired as a district chief after a career that took him to every fire station in the old city of Ottawa. Thank you for your years of service to the city during your career. I know our former fire chief, John DeHouge, is here, and many other members and alumni of the Ottawa Fire Service, and family and friends. It's great to have such a good turnout. Nous vous remercions, Monsieur.
Thank you for your years of service to the city during your career, Mr. Ryan.
This morning to take this opportunity to thank you for the many other ways that you have served our community. Since retirement, Peter has been an extremely active volunteer in our community. Peter has served as president of the Bytown Fire Brigade for many years. The Bytown Fire Brigade is a non-profit organization established in 1984 to serve the community as a local historical society, preserving firefighting artifacts and educating the city on important parts of its history. And if you haven't been to their museum, it really is quite a remarkable collection of vehicles and equipment. I had the opportunity of touring the center several months ago. However, the Bytown Fire Brigade does much more than simply preserve memories of their proud tradition. Toutefois, la Bytown Fire Brigade en fait beaucoup plus que...
No, the Bytown Fire Brigade does much more than simply preserve memories of their proud traditions.
Contributions to the local firefighting community through hosting many fundraisers or events, many of which are led by Peter. Whether for the Bytown Brigade or the fallen firefighters, Peter is quick to offer up his culinary talents to raise funds. A frequent item for auction at one of the many fundraisers which Peter is involved in is a 7-course gourmet meal for up to 10 people with wine pairing prepared by Peter himself. The successful bidder on these dinners are picked up and dropped off by Peter as well. Additionally, Peter contributes handmade wood carvings for the auction. These can vary from serving trays, chairs, coasters, wine trees, and many others. Of course, one of his more familiar roles in the community is driving a unique fire apparatus for families to enjoy during several Christmas parades around the city. A true ambassador for our city and fire service, Peter recently took it upon himself to welcome a group of Belgian fire observers visiting our city. On behalf of the volunteer Ottawa Fire Department band, Peter welcomed these 12 delegates for a barbecue and sleeping accommodations at his home. Peter is a longtime volunteer for the Salvation Army's Emergency Disaster Services canteen truck and can be called into service at all hours. The canteen truck, and I know many of you have seen this, is on hand at major incidents for first responders, such as last year's tragic shooting at the National War Monument. Le camion cantine est prêt.
The canteen truck is on hand at major incidents for first responders.
Before and after retirement, it's my pleasure on behalf of your Councillor Scott Moffat to present you with the Mayor's City Builder Award for the incredible work that you have done for so many decades. We're very proud of you. Congratulations, Peter. Come on, right over here.
Excuse me, I'm a little choked up here. No, I don't think that's a surprise. But I just want to thank, first off, the mayor and the rest of the people that make our city what it is for inviting me and honoring me. But I didn't do it all by myself. I had a great group of people that worked with me. The key word, not for, but with. And I think that's where I attribute the success that we've had over the years. Again, thanks very much.
That's tough to do, isn't it? You did a great job. You did a great job. Thank you very much, Peter. For this presentation, I'd like to invite Linda Egan, President and CEO of the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation, as well as Patty Ann Scrivens, Dwayne Francis, Ed Hansen, Karen Gardner-Sinclair, and Patrice Basile, community event organizers from the foundation, to join me at the podium at this time. Hello, Linda, and the team. Welcome. Bienvenue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Patrice is even wearing red glasses and a black suit for the Red Blacks. I like that. This year is a special one for the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation as we celebrate the organization's 20th anniversary. Over the past 2 decades, the foundation has done exceptional work here in our community and raised more than $60 million, an incredible achievement. Au cours des 2 dernières décennies,
Over the past 2 decades, the foundation has done exceptional work here in our community and has raised more than $60 million, an incredible achievement.
It has not only raised critical funds for research, but has also made a difference in the lives of those battling cancer, as well as helping their families, and has remained committed to ensuring that cancer care and research continues to be a top priority here in our community. Elle demeure engagée à ce
It remained committed to ensuring that cancer care and research continues to be a top priority here in our community.
I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation on the occasion of its 20th anniversary and acknowledge and thank the organization for its wonderful work it does in the community. I know that the Foundation's volunteers and donors are such an important part of the team, and today we acknowledge 5 community event organizers who have done amazing work in helping the Foundation work towards its goals. My thanks to all of the Foundation's volunteers for their amazing commitment and support. Je remercie tous les bénévoles de la Fondation.
My thanks go out to all the Foundation volunteers for their amazing commitment and support.
To come and say a few words and introduce our very special guests and the role they've played in making the Cancer Foundation the tremendous success it is in our city. Linda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Bonjour tout le monde. J'espère que ça va bien.
Good day, everyone. I hope you're well.
Cancer Foundation was a dream in the heart of a few members of our community some 20 years ago, and it's so exciting and inspiring to be part of it now today as we are celebrating our 20th anniversary. We celebrate the work that's been done to support research and cancer care. We know that there are over 7,000 people that are going to hear the words, "You have cancer," here in our community in the year ahead. And so we know how important this work is. We celebrate you. We celebrate this community because the Foundation is a community of caring leaders who want to make a difference. And beside me today you have some very spectacular people. And in fact, I wish I could have more than a few words because I would have brought 100 people here. C'est incroyable, l'énergie.
It's incredible the energy we have in the community here in Ottawa. We are changing the cancer experience for every victim. So congratulations to you all and congratulations to your colleague.
Cure that blasted disease. And so without further ado, I'd like to formally recognize a few teams, and we're going to be awarding them the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation's 20th Anniversary Award. These are people that we've had the pleasure of working with for a number of years, and it'll just give you a taste of how much fun we actually have while we're doing this. So there's a group of people that organize a ladies' night out. It's called Hunks for Hammers. With hammers. I'm sorry. Oxford hammers, yeah. Sorry. No, we're not buying hammers. That's not what we're buying. We're buying cyberknife and robotics and all that kind of stuff. But that group for the past 8 years has raised over $125,000. And here representing that team and receiving the award is Patty Ann Scrivens.
I guess so. Thank you.
Now, the next group for the last 12 years, inspired by wanting to leave a legacy for his father and the leadership of Ed Hansen, has been organizing a golf tournament. Let's take a swing at cancer, not for cancer. No, sorry. I should never attempt humor in these presentations. It always just comes back and bounces. But over the course of 12 years, they have raised $210,000. And they are a duo, Ed Hansen and Dwayne Francis, joined by Steve Lacroix and Kirsten today to accept the award.
Okay. Say 12 more years.
Hopefully last.
Okay, so we've had a night out and we've golfed. Now we're going to get in shape. And so for 4 years in Ottawa South, there's a group of people that have been organizing Ottawa Race Day. And in that very short period of time, they've managed to bring thousands of people and raise $303,000. And we're so, so proud of them for all the work that they do. Now there's quite a team that I'd like to mention today. And then we'll have Karen Gardner-Sinclair accept the award. So the team includes Karen Gardner-Sinclair, Karen Hill, Jen Carter, Rosemary Ryan, Christine Pratley-Moore. And so today, to accept the award, as I mentioned, Karen. Oh, there he is. All right, and we will celebrate one more amazing team. The Brook Street Hotel and the Wesley Clover Foundation, for a number of years now, have been organizing a spectacular event at the Brook Street Hotel, including culinary delights and wine pairings and fireworks. It's going to be one of Ottawa's favorite events, a lot because of the leadership of Patrice Basile. And they have raised $438,000 for cancer care and research in our community. So, Patrice?
Yeah. Karen?
With Karen?
Don't jump.
Karen is from the Wesley Clover Foundation.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup tout le monde. On apprécie les...
Thank you all. We do appreciate the time you've given us.
Increase cancer survivorship in Eastern Ontario. The power of us.
Big group, sure, you want us in front of the podium?
Thank you, because I'm short.
Very much.
Thank you all very much, and I know a number of members of council have been to some of the events that we talked about, and we're very proud of the work that Linda and her team does for cancer survivors and research. For our final presentation, I invite City Manager Kent Kirkpatrick and the City's former Deputy City Manager, Planning and Infrastructure, and current Executive Advisor on the Light Rail Planning and Implementation Office, Nancy Shepherds, to join us at the podium. Welcome. Welcome, Kent. Today we recognize Nancy Shepherds and the long list of accomplishments and exceptional work she has done with the City of Ottawa. Tomorrow, in fact, is her last day with the City. Aujourd'hui, nous rendons hommage à Nancy.
Today we recognize Nancy Shepherds and the long list of accomplishments and exceptional work she's done with the City of Ottawa.
A substantial contribution to the City of Ottawa during her 9 years as Deputy City Manager and more recently as Light Rail Executive Advisor. A native of Windsor, Ontario, Nancy graduated from the University of Windsor with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Since that time, Nancy has cultivated over 30 years of experience with all three levels of government, including the former Regional Municipality of Ottawa-Carleton, where she served as Director and then Deputy Commissioner of the Environment and Transportation Departments. She has also served as County Engineer with the County of Lambton, the Director General of Environmental Affairs with Transport Canada, and the Director of the InfraGuide Program of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. As Deputy City Manager in charge of planning and infrastructure from 2006 until 2015, Nancy oversaw the development and implementation of management and growth accommodation strategies for the city's municipal infrastructure assets, including roads, bridges, sewers, and wastewater systems. Nancy's leadership and dedication assisted the city in applying principles of sustainability to its short and long-term planning to position the city as an environmental, economic, and cultural leader today and for future generations. If you look around at various landmarks that compose our city, you will find examples of the direct impact that Nancy's work has had, from buildings to bridges to roadwork. Nancy's active promotion of safe cycling in Ottawa has led itself to many notable projects, including the implementation of the segregated bike lane on Laurier Avenue, which has turned out to be a tremendous success. This project, I should mention, won the Federation of Canadian Municipalities 2015 Sustainable Communities Award in the transportation category. Nancy contributed to the development of the Ottawa River Action Plan, which included the use of real-time control to achieve a reduction of 80% in measured combined sewer overflow volumes between 2006 and 2013. In 2013, the Ottawa Public Works Association Project of the Year in the Environment was awarded jointly to the City of Ottawa and other partners involved in the real-time control project. Nancy's portfolio was responsible for the construction of Lansdowne Park, including close collaboration with important stakeholders such as the Algonquins of Ontario, as well as work to oversee transportation elements. In delivering the Ottawa on the Move program, Nancy oversaw the completion of $340 million in construction projects from 2011 to 2014 in advance of the light rail transit construction. And Nancy was present during the initial planning stages of the Confederation Line project and helped to carry the project through planning and procurement and into construction as we see it today. As you may know, the Confederation Line project was the recipient of the 2013 Deal of the Year Award from Project Finance Magazine, the 2013 CCPPP Gold Award for Innovation and Excellence, the 2014 P3 Bulletin Gold Award for Best Rail Project, and the 2014 P3 Bulletin Silver Award for Best Transportation Project in the country. This is not common knowledge, but it's an urban legend that Nancy's engineering ring has been embedded in the cement in one of the Confederation Line stations. I won't tell you which one it's in. Nancy's more recent contribution to the Stage 2 Ottawa Light Rail Transit project have helped to launch the comprehensive plan that will bring close to 700,000 residents, 67% of the total city population, within 5 kilometers of LRT by 2023. Nancy's contribution to the City of Ottawa has been significant, and she will be missed by her staff, her management colleagues, and by members of council. I'd like to take this opportunity to sincerely wish Nancy the very best in her next phase of life, which I'm sure will include gardening, cycling, and many more canoeing and glamour camping, also known as glamping, adventures with her traveling tribe of book club women. Nancy, your dedicated service to the residents of Ottawa has been outstanding. Nancy, votre dévouement au service des résidents d'Ottawa.
Your dedicated service to the residents of Ottawa has been outstanding.
I want to thank you very much for your service, for your commitment and your dedication to our community. And before we present you with a small token of appreciation, I'd ask Kent Kirkpatrick to say a few words. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And all that I would add to that is just from your myself and from your senior management colleagues, Nancy. For a decade, you've occupied, in my mind, one of the most difficult and important roles at City Hall, and you've done it exceptionally well. We all know that, and we appreciate your contributions and your commitment to the city through that decade very, very much. Thank you. We're going to miss you, but we wish you well, of course, and we hope to hear more about the glamping. Thanks.
She's waited a long time for that.
I have. Asking the mayor to be careful with my vase. I've got big plans to fill that with flowers. Thank you very much for those kind words, and it reminds me of all the great things that I've been part of and been proud to be part of. The first thing, though, that I want to say is, Mr. Mayor and members of council, all of you, thank you. It has just been the support that I've had to work with you on executing what I think is a tremendous vision for this city has been just so rewarding, and I thank you. I think, Council, you have a very clear vision, and I know, my job hasn't always been easy, but you have supported me very strongly, and I really want to thank you and let you know that I appreciate that. So the next thing I want to do is I do want to thank you, Kent, because you are a tremendous leader. The organization is really very fortunate to have had you at the helm. Your steady hand and your vision about how great this city can be are leaving a big legacy. And I thank you, and I'm honored that you hired me back on and took a chance with me to bring me back to City Hall. So then, any leader is only as great as the people that are around them, and I have to tell you, I have been fortunate to work with some of the best people here at City Hall. Whether they were working for me or my colleagues, we were all working together towards what I believe was a great vision for a great city. The mayor mentioned I'm from Windsor originally. I chose to live here. I'm not a native, but I am passionate about this city. It's a great city, and I have so enjoyed being part of creating so many things that I walk around the city and I'm proud of, and I sure hope that all of you are. And then the last comment that I'm going to make is, I couldn't do all of this without the support of my family, and my husband is here, and I want to thank you, Carl. People often comment about how I have a pretty good work-life balance, and that's in no small part a tribute to the love of my family and those folks that surround me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And finally, I just want to say, I'm leaving here with so many fond memories, and I am really leaving also with a lot of excitement and joy about the things that have been done in the city and for this city, and especially the light rail. It really is a crowning achievement for me as a career public servant. And yes, I did leave my iron ring in the tunnel. It will be there, and it was a fun day that I climbed up and deposited in the formwork, and the concrete was poured right after, and I will be able to show my grandchildren that, and I hope my kids are listening and realizing that I'm expecting certain things from them. And thank you very much, and all the best.
And there's some great photos of Nancy and her career that are just behind us there. So congratulations, Nancy, and thank you for tremendous dedication to our city. Madam Deputy Clerk, roll call, please.
Conseiller Manette.
Present.
Councillor Middick.
Present.
Councillor Harder.
Here.
Councillor Wilkinson.
Present.
Councillor El-Shantiri.
Present.
Councillor Caudry.
Present.
Councillor Taylor.
Here.
Councillor Shirelli.
Here.
Councillor Eglai.
Here.
Councillor Deans.
Here.
Councillor Tierney.
Present.
Conseiller Fleury.
Ici.
Councillor Nussbaum.
Present.
Councillor McKinney.
Present.
Councillor Leeper.
Here.
Councillor Brockington. Councillor Chernushenko.
Present.
Conseiller Cloutier.
Déjà.
Conseiller Blais.
Here.
Councillor DeRuse.
Here.
Councillor Moffat.
Here.
Councillor Kakish.
Present.
Councillor Hughley.
Here.
Mayor Watson.
Here.
Le quorum est 10, Monsieur le Maire.
You have the quorum?
A confirmation of minutes, adoption de procès verbaux for the 12th of November 2015. Carried. Declaration of interests, including those originally arising from prior meetings. Déclaration de conflit d'intérêt. Receive none. Communications as presented. Regrets. Councillor Brockington advised he'd be absent from the council meeting of the 25th of November 2015. Motion to introduce reports. Motion portant présentation d'un rapport. Conseil Eglai et McKinney.
That the report from the Integrity Commissioner entitled Integrity Commissioner 2015 Annual Report and Planning Committee Report 17 be received and considered.
Carried. Carried. Report. City's Integrity Commissioner, Commissaire à l'intégrité de la ville. We'll come back to that because there's a presentation. Oh, I'm sorry. There's only questions. So does anyone have any questions for the Integrity Commissioner on his report? Received. Monsieur Marleau, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Committee reports. Rapport de comité. Planning Committee Report number 17. Rapport numéro 17. Comité de l'urbanisme. Zoning Bylaw 400 Albert Street, 383 Slater Street. Modification au règlement de zonage 400 rue Albert, 383 Chemin Slater. Carried. Preston Street North Traditional Main Street Study, étude sur la désignation de la Preston Nord en rue principale traditionnelle. Carried. Repeal of Bylaw 2015-45 as it affects the rear portion of 1585 Maryville Road. Abrogation de règlement municipal numéro 2015.45 en ce qui a trait à la partie arrière de 1585 Chemin Maryville. Carried. Bulk consent agenda. Does anyone wish to remove any item from the bulk consent agenda? On the bulk consent agenda is presented. Carried. Motion to adopt reports. Motion portant adoption de rapport. Conseiller Eglai et McKinney, s'il vous plaît.
That the report from the Integrity Commissioner entitled Integrity Commissioner 2015 Annual Report and Planning Committee Report 17 be received and adopted as amended.
On the motion as presented, carried. Carried, adopté, merci. Motions of which notice have been previously given. Motion dont avis a été donné entièrement. Councillor Kadri has a motion which there's a substituting revised motion that's on the screen, seconded by Councillor Fleury. Councillor Kadri, if you'd like to introduce your motion, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for, I want to say thanks to Councillor Fleury also for seconding this motion. And Mr. Mayor, this is a motion referring to the smoking the prohibitions in the City of Ottawa. We started a good campaign and further enhanced it back in 2012 as a city, where we showed leadership by expanding the smoke-free spaces in Ottawa and prohibiting smoking of water pipes and non-tobacco products in outdoor municipal properties. This past spring, the Making Healthier Choices Act 2015, Bill 45, proposed amendments to the Smoke-Free Ontario Act and introduced the Electronic Cigarette Act. Despite these changes, legislative gaps will still exist, including prohibiting smoking of non-tobacco combustible substances. To this effect, earlier this month, I, on behalf of the board, wrote a letter to the Provincial Minister of Health and Long-Term Care recommending that the SFOA be amended to include the smoking of any combustible substances in indoor and outdoor public spaces. The motion before Council today, if adopted, aims to protect people from secondhand smoke exposure by reducing legislative gaps. And these legislative gaps, some of these, Mr. Mayor and colleagues, have been created by the introduction of new methods and new paraphernalia for smoking purposes, in not only in public places but also in vape lounges and so on. So what I'm asking the colleagues to is get approval on this motion so we can really make City of Ottawa a smoke-free environment going forward. And thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Great, thank you. It's a very good initiative. Any other questions, comments on the motion? Carried. Thank you very much, Councillor Kadri. Next are motions requiring suspension of the rules of procedure. Motion exigeant la suspension des règles de procédure. The first is from Councillor Harder and Tierney with respect to construction of the Innovation Centre on suspension. Carried. Councillor Harder, if you'd like to introduce.
Thank you. And this is kind of unique, Mr. Mayor, in that the fact that because we need to do this because we are the owners. And the Innovation Centre is looking to defer their development charges. And normally, the delegation of authority bylaw requires that such an agreement be registered at the city. But since we are who would be registering, it's a difficult situation, or it's a different situation anyway, so that's why we're doing this. And it is that the rules of procedure be waived, as we did, whereas the Innovation Centre at Bayview Yards is in the process of having building permits issued in respect of development at the city-owned facility, and whereas development has been approved at the site and the proponent is seeking to have its development charges deferred, and whereas even though the city is the property owner of the Bayview Yards, the delegation of authority bylaw requires such matters be registered on title. Therefore, be it resolved, City Council delegate the authority to the city clerk and solicitor to enter into a deferral agreement without requiring such agreement to be registered on title.
Okay, so anyone have any questions on this item? On the motion, carried?
Carried.
Thank you, Councillor Harder and Tierney. The next motion requiring suspension of the rules of procedure is by Councillor Fleury and seconded by Councillor Nussbaum with respect to the Donald Somerset pedestrian and cycling bridge. On the suspension of the rules, carried. Conseiller Fleury, s'il vous plaît.
So I think everyone has the motion in front of them. This is the Donald Somerset pedestrian bridge. We're ahead of schedule. It's supposed to officially open in spring of 2016. We will officially open it on December 4th at 1 p.m. Members of council will receive an official invite. You're more than welcome to join us for the special event for Councillor Nussbaum and I as communities. I can read formally, Mr. Mayor, or I can explain which one. Is it okay if I explain?
Just explain, sure.
So we went through a formal process for naming. We've received over 60 submissions. We went through involvement in the key community members, Heritage Ottawa, community associations, and beyond. And I can announce today, with the help of my colleague Toby Nussbaum, that the name that was selected from our community was Adawe, which is an Algonquin name that means to trade. And attached to that, we thought that instead of being hard infrastructure and using the words bridge or pont, that we subtly introduce new words as passerelle Adawe, Adawe crossing, for the official name of the Donald Somerset pedestrian bridge.
Great. On the motion, carried, adopté. Congratulations. Look forward to the opening of that important transportation link across the river. Are there any other motions requiring suspension of the rules of procedure at this time? Est-ce qu'il y a des autres motions? Notice is a motion for consideration at subsequent meeting. Councillor Nussbaum, seconded by Councillor Wilkinson. Councillor Nussbaum, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a motion that will seek to get Council's approval for an extension of the expiry date for the application for lane closing of the lane between Queen Mary Street and Prince Albert Street, extending from Marion Avenue to the Vanier Parkway. Thank you.
And this is, just for clarification, this is not waiving the sale price, it's giving an extension. On the motion, this is notice of motion, so we'll deal with that at the next meeting. Apologize. The next notice of motion is from Councillor Taylor, seconded by Councillor Monette. Councillor Taylor, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And its notice of motion makes reference to the fact that the Deputy City Clerk requires a backup signing authority in case she is absent from proceedings here. So it's a notice of motion that we appoint Caitlin Salter McDonald, a Deputy Clerk, to take over signing and other duties in the absence of the City Clerk and the Deputy City Clerk.
Okay, and we will deal with that at our next meeting. Thank you very much. Are there any other notices of motion for consideration at our next meeting? Nope. A motion to introduce bylaws. Motion portant présentation de règlement. Conseil Aiglai et McKenney, s'il vous plaît.
That the bylaws listed on the agenda and the motion to introduce bylaws, 3 readings, be read and passed.
Carried. Adopté. Merci. Confirmation bylaw, règlement de ratification, Conseil Aiglai et McKenney, s'il vous plaît.
Let the following bylaw be read and passed to confirm the proceedings of the council meeting of the 25th of November, 2015.
Carried. Prior to adjournment, I'd like to invite members of council and attendees to stay following adjournment for a special OC Transpo Loblaws Christmas Food Drive presentation. As many of you know, this year marks the 31st annual OC Transpo Loblaws Christmas Food Drive. This food drive fills a need when many families are struggling to make ends meet and helps to ensure that there is enough to eat during a time when demand is at its highest. To give you an idea of the level of need in our communities, every month, 14 tons of food leaves the Ottawa Food Bank's Michael Street warehouse. Pour vous donner une idée des besoins de nos communautés.
To give you an idea of the needs in our community, every month, 14 tons of food leaves the Michael Street Food Bank.
Feed 50,000 people is then provided to 140 member agencies in all of our communities. The need felt across our city is an unfortunate reality, but together, through this food drive, we can make a difference. Le besoin ressenti dans
The need felt in our city is unfortunate, but thanks to this OC Transpo Loblaw food drive, we can change the life of people.
Chair Steve Blais to say a few words, please.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mayor Watson. To date, the OC Transpo Loblaw annual Christmas food drive has raised over 1.4 million kilograms of food and thousands of dollars for Ottawa's most vulnerable. The continued success of the food drive is due to the support of Loblaw Corporation and the incredible generosity of the City of Ottawa staff and residents. As many of you have noticed, donation boxes are currently set up at several City of Ottawa administrative buildings, including here at City Hall. And I'd encourage my fellow council colleagues, city employees, and all the many visitors to Ottawa City Hall to continue filling these boxes with non-perishable items, including rice, soup, tuna, pasta, diapers, baby food, peanut butter, and powdered milk. Please don't underestimate the importance and value of your donations. No matter how large or how small, each and every item counts. Ne sous-estimez surtout par la...
Please don't underestimate your donation because every article counts.
Already, please consider volunteering your time on Saturday, December 5, at one of the 20 grocery store locations across the city. The stores include Your Independent Grocer, No Frills, Royal Canadian Superstore, and Loblaws. It's a great way to give back to the community while also getting into the spirit of the season. At this time, I'd like Mr. Alain Lowry, store manager of the Gloucester Market Loblaws, to say a few words. Is he here?
Mr. Mayor, Council, and honored guests, as part of Loblaw's continued commitment to our community, we have again partnered with OC Transpo and will host our annual food drive December 5th. I would like to also introduce Vanessa from Casey's Restaurant, who is our newest partner, and also to thank Jewel FM, who will be returning this year to broadcast live at our several locations. Councillors and guests, none of this could happen without our many volunteers and as like yourselves, and for that, we at Loblaws thank you. I invite all of you to our media launch again this year at Loblaws Ogilvie Road, December 2nd at 3 p.m. And again, I thank you and I ask you to give generously. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much. And I know just after our adjournment, we're going to bring our food goods into the center circle for a picture. And I very much appreciate the tremendous effort of the OC Transpo employees, as well as the Loblaw employees, and now Casey's. And I know each member of council, if you have a Loblaws or one of their store brands, I know you go out and help with the food drive. So thank you very, very much for doing that. Alors, merci beaucoup pour votre participation.
Thank you so much for your participation.
And I'd now like to invite Mr. Michael Maidment, the Executive Director of the Ottawa Food Bank, to say a few words as well, Mr. Mayor.
Just push the button there.
Here we go. Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Watson and councillors and city staff for the invitation to be here. It's a pretty exciting time for us, the Ottawa Food Bank, of course. Coming from the warehouse this morning, our shelves are a little empty right now, and it's pretty exciting to come here and to officially kick off this annual event. A lot has been said about the amount of food that's raised and how important that is to our organization. We serve nearly 50,000 people across the city every single month, and the support of this event within the city, within OC Transpo, and across the community is incredibly important to us, so that we can meet that need. The OC Transpo Food Drive started 31 years ago. And it's no coincidence that the Ottawa Food Bank started 31 years ago. And so our two organizations have been standing side by side for 31 years, working together to support that need within the community. And I think that that's outstanding. The other thing I want to leave with you this morning is that last year we collected 234,000 pounds of food and $36,000 of cash, which is again used to purchase food for areas that there is more need than we have food. That's an incredible amount of food. And for us at the Ottawa Food Bank and the organizations across the city which we support, the OC Transpo bus, throughout the year has become really a symbol of hope for us. And, I say we're excited to launch this food drive, and I truly mean it. When we see buses, not just during the food drive, but all throughout the year, we think of the incredible impact that this partnership has on our organization and our ability to meet the need in the community. And that's, I think, a true mark of the partnership and support that's existed for 31 years. So thank you very much for your support, and we're looking forward to a great year this year.
Great. Thank you, Michael.
And as the mayor said at the conclusion of the meeting, if everyone could meet in the middle, that would be great.
Great. Thank you. Councillor Eglai, the adjournment, please.
that the proceedings of the City Council meeting the 25th of November 2015 be adjourned.
On the motion, carried, adopté, merci. So if we could join in the middle, and also remind everyone, of course, the Grey Cup is on. That's why we're wearing red and black, and we look forward to cheering on the best team in the CFL, the Ottawa Red Blacks. Thank you.